Hello everyone and welcome to episode 132 of Sleep and Relax ASMR. This episode we will be reading the Wikipedia page for Hawaii, state of Hawaii. Of course, I'm going to trim some of these sections out because if not, I'd be here whispering or gently speaking to you for the next 5 hours. Maybe for some of you that would be lovely, but that's a very long episode, so trimmed out some of the fat, if you will, and I have some of the content just here waiting for me to read. So this series is basically just called Let's Read Wikipedia, but I don't know, so far I haven't gotten a nicer name for it, so either way, let's start episode 132, Hawaii. The Kingdom of Hawaii originated in 1795 with the unification of the independent islands of Hawaii, Oahu, Maui, Molokai, and Lanai under one government. In 1810, the whole Hawaiian archipelago became unified when Kauai and Niue joined the kingdom voluntarily and without bloodshed or war. The two major dynastic families ruled the kingdom, the House of Kamehameha and the House of Kalakaua. The kingdom won recognition from major European powers. The United States became its chief trading partner, and the kingdom was watched jealously lest Britain, Japan, or another power threatened to seize control. Hawaii adopted a new constitution in 1887 to reduce the absolute power of King Kalakaua. Queen Liliuokalani, who succeeded Kalakaua in 1891, tried to restore the old order, but was overthrown in 1893, largely at the hands of United States citizens. Hawaii became a republic until the United States annexed it in 1898. Origins. Before the founding of a formal United Kingdom, the islands were all ruled by independent alii nui, or supreme executives. All of these rulers were believed to come from a hereditary line descended from the first Polynesian Papa, who would become the Earth Mother Goddess of the Hawaiian religion. Captain James Cook stumbled across the islands but was killed while attempting to kidnap the alii nui of Hawaii Island in 1779. 3 years later, Hawaii passed to some of these names are crazy. Kalaniupu's son, Kiwilau, while religious authority was passed to the ruler's nephew, Kamehameha. A series of battles lasting 15 years was led by the warrior chief who became Kamehameha the Great. The Kingdom of Hawaii was established with the help of Western weapons and advisors such as John Young and Isaac Davis. Although successful in attacking both Oahu and Maui, he failed to secure victory in Kauai, his effort hampered by a storm and a plague that decimated his army. Eventually, Kauai's chief swore allegiance to Kamehameha. The unification ended the ancient Hawaiian society, transforming it into an independent constitutional monarchy crafted in the traditions and manner of European monarchs. Kamehameha Dynasty. From 1810 to 1893, the Kingdom of Hawaii was ruled by two major dynastic families, the House of Kamehameha and the Kalakaua Dynasty. 5 members of the Kamehameha family led the government styled as Kamehameha. Lunalilu was a member of the House of Kamehameha through his mother, Liholiho, Kamehameha II, and Kuakealui, Kamehameha III, were direct sons of Kamehameha the Great. For a period of Liholiho and Kuakealui's reigns, the primary wife of Kamehameha the Great, Queen Ka'ahumanu, ruled as Queen Regent, and Kuhina Nui, or Prime Minister. French Incident, 1839. Under the rule of Queen Kahawamanu, the powerful newly converted Protestant widow of Kamehameha the Great, Catholicism was illegal in Hawaii, and in 1831, chiefs loyal to her forcibly deported French Catholic priests. Native Hawaiian converts to Catholicism claimed to have been imprisoned, beaten, and tortured after the expulsion of the priests. The prejudice against the French Catholic missionaries remained the same under the reign of her successor, the Kuhina Nui Kahaumanu II. In 1839, Captain Laplace of the French frigate Artemis sailed to Hawaii under the orders to destroy the malevolent impressions which you find established to the detriment of the French name, to rectify the erroneous opinion which has been created as to the powers of France, and to make it well understood that it would be to the advantage of the chiefs of those islands of the ocean to conduct themselves in such a manner as not to incur the wrath of France. Under the threat of war, King Kamehameha III signed the Edict of Toleration on July 17, 1839, and paid $20,000 in compensation for the deportation of the priest and the incarceration and torture of converts, agreeing to Laplace's demands. The kingdom proclaimed that the Catholic worship be declared free throughout all the dominions subject to the King of the Sandwich Islands. The members of the religious faith shall enjoy in them the privileges granted to Protestants. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Honolulu returned unpersecuted, and as reparation, Kamehameha III donated land for them to build a church upon. An even more serious threat occurred on February 13, 1843. Lord George Paulet of the Royal Navy warship HMS Carrisford entered Honolulu harbor and demanded that King Kamehameha III concede the islands to the British Crown. Under the guns of the frigate, Kamehameha III surrendered to Paulet on February 25th, writing to his people, "Where are you, chiefs, people, and commons from my ancestors, and people from foreign lands? Hear ye, I make known to you that I am in perplexity by reason of difficulties into which I have been brought without cause. Therefore I have given away the life of our land. Hear ye, but my rule over you, my people, and our privileges will continue, for I have hope that the life of the land will be restored when my conduct is justified." Done in Honolulu, Oahu, this 25th day of February 1843, Kamehameha III. Dr. Jarrett P. Judd, a missionary who had become the Minister of Finance for the kingdom, secretly arranged for J.F.B. Marshall to be envoy to the United States, France, and Britain to protest Paulet's actions. Marshall, a commercial agent of Ladd & Co., conveyed the kingdom's complaint to the Vice Consul of Britain in Tippecanoe. Rear Admiral Richard Darton Thomas, Paulet's commanding officer, arrived at Honolulu Harbor on July 26, 1843, on HMS Dublin from Valparaiso, Chile. Admiral Thomas apologized to Kamehameha III for Paulet's actions and restored Hawaiian sovereignty on July 31, 1843. In his restoration speech, Kamehameha III declared that "Ua mau ke ea o ka aina I ka pono." The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness, the motto of the future state of Hawaii. The day was celebrated as La Hawaii'a, Sovereignty Restoration Day. French invasion, 1849. In August 1849, French Admiral Louis Tromelin arrived in Honolulu harbor with the La Puissante and Justin de Tromelin made 10 demands to King Kamehameha III on August 22nd, mainly demanding that full religious rights be given to Catholics. A decade earlier, during the French incident, the ban on Catholicism had been lifted, but Catholics still enjoyed only partial religious rights. On August 25th, the demands had not been met. After a second warning was made to the civilians, French troops overwhelmed the skeleton force and captured Honolulu Fort, spiked the coastal guns, and destroyed all their weapons they found, mainly muskets and ammunition. They raided government buildings and general property in Honolulu, causing damage that amounted to $100,000. After the raids, the invasion force withdrew to the fort. De Tromelin eventually recalled his men and left Hawaii on September 5th. Foreign relations. Anticipating foreign encroachment on Hawaiian territory, King Kamehameha III dispatched a delegation to the United States and Europe to secure the recognition of Hawaiian independence. Timoteo Ha'alilu, William Richards, and Sir George Simpson were commissioned as joint ministers on April 8, 1842. Sir George Simpson left for Great Britain, while Ha'alilu and Richards to the United States on July 8, 1842. The Hawaiian delegation secured the assurance of U.S. President John Tyler on December 19, 1842, of Hawaiian independence, and then met Simpson in Europe to secure formal recognition by the United Kingdom and France. On March 17, 1843, King Louis-Philippe of France recognized Hawaiian independence at the urging of King Leopold I of Belgium. On April 1, 1843, Lord Aberdeen, on behalf of Queen Victoria, assured the Hawaiian delegation Her Majesty's government was willing and had determined to recognize the independence of the Sandwich Islands under their present sovereign. Kalakaua Dynasty. Like his predecessor, Lunalilu failed to name an heir to the throne. Once again, the legislature of the Kingdom of Hawaii needed an election to fill the royal vacancy. Queen Emma, widow of Kamehameha IV, was nominated along with David Kalakaua. In 1874, election was a nasty political campaign. The 1874 election was a nasty political campaign in which both candidates resorted to mudslinging and innuendo. David Kalakaua became the second elected king of Hawaii, but without the ceremonial popular vote of Lunalilu. The choice of the legislature was controversial, and U.S. and British troops were called upon to suppress rioting by Queen Emma's supporters, the M8s. Hoping to avoid uncertainty in the monarch's future, Kalakaua proclaimed several heirs to the throne to define a line of succession. His sister Lili Ukalani would succeed the throne upon Kalakaua's death, with Princess Victoria Kauilani to follow. If she could not produce an heir by birth, Prince David Lamea Kawanakaua, then Prince Jonah Kui Kalaniaole, would rule after her. Bayonet Constitution. In 1887, a constitution was drafted by Lauren A. Thurston, Minister of Interior under King Kalakaua. The constitution was proclaimed by the king after a meeting of 3,000 residents, including an armed militia, demanded he sign it or be deposed. The document created a constitutional monarchy like the United Kingdom's, stripping the king of most of his personal authority, empowering the legislature, and establishing cabinet government. It has since become widely known as a bayonet constitution because of the threat of force used to gain Kalakaua's cooperation. In 1887, the Constitution empowered the citizenry to elect members of the House of Nobles, who had previously been appointed by the king. It increased the value of property a citizen must own to be eligible to vote above the previous Constitution of 1864, and denied voting rights to Asians, who comprise a large proportion of the population. A few Japanese and some Chinese have previously become naturalized now, and now lost voting rights they had previously enjoyed. This guaranteed a voting monopoly to wealthy native Hawaiians and Europeans. The Bayonet Constitution continued allowing the monarch to appoint cabinet ministers, but stripped him of the power to dismiss them without approval from the legislature. Liliuokalani's Constitution. In 1891, Kalakaua died and his sister Liliuokalani assumed the throne. She came to power during an economic crisis precipitated in part by the McKinley Tariff. By rescinding the Reciprocity Treaty of 1875, the new tariff eliminated the previous advantage Hawaiian exporters enjoyed in trade to U.S. markets. Many Hawaiian businesses and citizens were feeling the pressure of the loss of revenue, so Liliuokalani's proposed a lottery and opium licensing to bring in additional revenue for the government. Her ministers and closest friends tried to dissuade her from pursuing the bills. and these controversial proposals were used against her in the looming constitutional crisis. Liliuokalani wanted to restore power to the monarch by abrogating the 1887 Constitution. The Queen launched a campaign resulting in a petition to proclaim a new constitution. Many citizens and residents who in 1887 had forced Kalakaua to sign the Bayonet Constitution became alarmed when 3 of her recently appointed cabinet ministers informed them that the Queen was planning to unilaterally proclaim her new constitution. Some cabinet ministers were reported to have feared for their safety after upsetting the Queen by not supporting her plans. Overthrow. In 1893, local businessmen and politicians composed of 6 non-native Hawaiian kingdom subjects, 5 American nationals, 1 British national, and 1 German national, all of whom were living and doing business in Hawaii, overthrew the Queen, her cabinet, and her marshal, and took over the government for the Kingdom of Hawaii. Historians suggest that businessmen were in favor of overthrow and annexation to the U.S. in order to benefit from more favorable trade conditions with its main export market. The McKinley Tariff of 1890 eliminated the previously high favorable trade terms for Hawaii sugar exports, a main component of the economy. United States Government Minister John L. Stevens summoned a company of uniformed U.S. Marines from the USS Boston and 2 companies of U.S. sailors to land on the kingdom and take up positions at the U.S. Legislation Consulate and Arion Hall on the afternoon of January 16, 1893. This deployment was at request of the Committee of Safety, which claimed an imminent threat to American lives and property. Stevens was accused of ordering the landing on his own authority and inappropriately using his discretion. Historian William Russ concluded that the injunction to prevent fighting of any kind made it impossible for the monarchy to protect itself. Culture. The Aboriginal culture of Hawaii is Polynesian. Hawaii represents the northmost extension of the vast Polynesian Triangle, the South and Central Pacific Ocean. While traditional Hawaiian culture remains as vestiges in modern Hawaiian society, there are reenactments of the ceremonies and traditions throughout the islands. Some of these culture influences including the popularity in greatly modified form of Iowa and hula are strong enough to affect the wider United States. Cuisine. The cuisine of Hawaii is a fusion of many foods brought by immigrants to the Hawaiian Islands, including the earliest Polynesians and native Hawaiian cuisine, and American, Chinese, Filipino, Japanese, Korean, Polynesian, and Portuguese origins. Plant and animal food sources are imported from around the world for agricultural use in Hawaii. Poi, a starch made by pounding taro, is one of the traditional foods of the islands. Many local restaurants serve the ubiquitous plate lunch, which features 2 scoops of rice, a simplified version of American macaroni salad, and a variety of toppings including hamburger patties, a fried egg, and gravy of a lokomoko, Japanese-style tonkatsu, or the traditional aiwa favorites, including kalua pork and laulau. Spam musubi is an example of the fusion of ethnic cuisine that developed on the islands among the mix of immigrant groups and military personnel. In the 1990s, a group of chefs developed Hawaii regional cuisine as a contemporary fusion cuisine. Customs and etiquette. Some key customs and etiquette in Hawaii are as follows. When visiting a home, it is considered good manners to bring a small gift for one's host, for example, a dessert. Thus, parties are usually in the form of potlucks. Most locals take their shoes off before entering a home. It is customary for Hawaiian families, regardless of ethnicity, to hold a luau to celebrate a child's first birthday. It is also customary at Hawaiian weddings, especially at Filipino weddings, for the bride and groom to do a money dance, also called the pandango. Print media and local residents recommend that one refer to non-Hawaiians as locals of Hawaii or people of Hawaii. Hawaiian mythology. Hawaiian mythology comprises the legends, historical tales, and sayings of the ancient Hawaiian people. It is considered a variant of a more general Polynesian mythology that developed a unique character for several centuries before circa 1800. It is associated with the Hawaiian region, which was officially suppressed in the 19th century but was kept alive by some practitioners of the modern day. Prominent figures in terms include Aumakua, the spirit of the ancestor or family god, and Kane, the highest of the four major Hawaiian deities. Literature. The literature of Hawaii is diverse and includes authors Kaiana Davenport, Lois Ann Yamanaka, and Kauai Hart Hemmings. Hawaii magazines include Hanahu, Hawaii Business Magazine, and Honolulu, among others. Music. The music of Hawaii includes traditional and popular styles, ranging from native Hawaiian folk music to modern rock and hip-hop. Hawaii's musical contributions to the music of the United States are out of proportion to the state's small size. Styles such as slack key guitar are well known worldwide, while Hawaiian tinged music is a frequent part of Hollywood soundtracks. Hawaii also made a major contribution to country music with the introduction of the steel guitar. Traditional Hawaiian folk music is a major part of the state's musical heritage. The Hawaiian people have inhabited the islands for centuries and have retained much of their traditional music knowledge. Their music is largely religious in nature and includes chanting and dance music. Hawaiian music has had an enormous impact on the music of other Polynesian islands. According to Peter Manuel, the influence of Hawaiian music, this seems to be not proper sentence structure. Hawaiian music is a unifying factor in the development of modern Pacific musics. Notable musicians from Hawaii include Jack Johnson, who is a personal favorite of mine. And final section for this episode, tourism. Tourism is an important part of the Hawaiian economy. In 2003, according to state government data, there were over 6.4 million visitors with expenditures of over $10 billion to the Hawaiian Islands. Due to the mild year-round weather, tourist travel is popular throughout the year. Excuse me. The major holidays are the most popular times for outsiders to visit, especially in the winter months. Substantial numbers of Japanese tourists still visit the islands, but now have been surpassed by Chinese and Koreans due to the collapse of the value of the yen and the weak Japanese economy. The average Japanese stays only 5 days, while other Asians spend over 9.5 days and spend 25% more. Hawaii hosts numerous cultural events. The annual Merry Monarch Festival is an international hula competition. The Hawaii International Film Festival is a premier film festival for Pacific Rim cinema. And Honolulu hosts the state's long-running LGBT film festival, the Rainbow Film Festival. So I hope you guys learned some interesting stuff about Hawaii today. I know I did. Sorry for stumbling over some of the names. They were very difficult to pronounce. I tried my best. For comments, suggestions on this episode of the show, you can always reach out to us by emailing hello@sleepandrelaxasmr.com. Look forward to getting in touch. Look forward to making more episodes for this podcast. And that's all for now. Thanks as always for listening, and take care.